Indigo's crisis entered its fourth day, with India's largest passenger airline continuing to face massive flight disruptions across major cities. Operations remain under heavy strain as cancellations and delays piled up at major airports. On Friday, the situation escalated further. Delhi Airport cancelled all Indigo flights today until midnight. Bengaluru crossed 100 cancellations. Hyderabad reported over 90 grounded services. And financial capital Mumbai also cancelled more than 100 flights in total. The airline saw more than 500 flights cancelled on Friday. This came after a difficult week in which over 150 flights were cancelled on Wednesday and more than 400 on Thursday, leaving thousands of passengers stranded nationwide. The disruptions stemmed from severe crew shortages, compounded by the impact of the new flight duty time limit, or FDTL rules, which mandate longer rest for pilots and restrict nighttime operations. Indigo admitted that there were miscalculations in scheduling and planning, stating that its crew requirements turned out to be far higher than earlier estimated, especially after the court allowed the new duty hour norms to take effect. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation, or DGCA, has been closely monitoring the situation. The regulator has started on-ground inspections and flagged gaps in how passengers were being managed as airport crowds increased. Amid the ongoing disruptions, the DGCA also put on hold a rule that barred airlines from substituting weekly rest with leave, a move aimed at giving carriers more flexibility while they stabilise operations. At the same time, Indigo requested a temporary relaxation from the new rule that limits how many late-night flights can operate between midnight and 6 a.m. The airline said this waiver would help reduce passenger inconvenience while it works to fix its schedules. Indigo told the DGCA it expects to fully stabilise operations by February the 10th, 2026. On social media, many passengers called the situation outright mismanagement, demanding accountability instead of vague assurances, with several users questioning why flights were cancelled without prior notice. Others criticising the chaos of 550-plus cancellations, and even Indigo staff pointing to poor planning and inadequate support from frontline teams. Indigo apologised for the inconvenience, said its teams were coordinating with aviation authorities to stabilise operations. The airline cautioned that daily cancellations may remain above normal for some time and advised travellers to check flight status before heading to the airport. It also announced scheduled flight cuts from December 8th as part of a wider reset aimed at regaining control of its network. Meanwhile, Indigo's stock slipped as the disruption deepened. For now, Indigo's operations continue to remain unstable, and the impact on travellers is expected to persist over the next few days. Authorities are assessing the airline's request for temporary regulatory relief, while passengers await smoother services and clearer communication.
I rose from the army with medals on my chest. I spoke of freedom from colonial chains, but I tightened my own. I filled prisons with ghosts. Nearly 500,000 people were butchered under my rule, and I trusted only my paranoia. I gave myself grand titles. I claimed to be Africa's strongman. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?